Good morning, children. Sairam. Today we are here again with a new chapter, which is your last poem, Aunt Jennifer's Tigers. So, before starting this chapter, I would like you all to just give a thought to one thing which I would like to discuss with you, and I would really appreciate if you can think within yourself and analyze it. See, marriage is something that is of great importance. Marriage is something that everybody will get a chance to be in that relationship. Marriage is something which can make your life beautiful, and at the same time, if you are married to a wrong person, it can become hell also. So, this is, I think, our duty to take care of such a beautiful relationship that is marriage. The society in which we all are living is male dominating society. You know this thing. Male domination means most of the families are there where father is the head of the family. I think very few families must be there where the mothers are the head. Otherwise, normally if we'll see, fathers are the only head in the families. I'm not saying that if the father is the head of the family, it is good or bad. But what my personal thing is, I think there is not a need for someone to be the head of the family. I think everybody should be equal. Both mother and father, both the parents should have equal right in the family. But unfortunately, this thing does not happen here. In India, our culture is like that, or maybe you can say our tradition is like that, where in most of the families, fathers are only the head of the family. It is good if you are doing something for the welfare of the family, but we all are surrounded by male domination. If I talk about a girl, when a girl is born and she just grew up in a family, she has to be under her father. And if she is having brother, then again, you know, the fights between the brother and sister, it's like insane. Somewhere she tolerates the domination of the brother also, where the brother is allowed to go outside the house at any time of the day, but a girl is not. Then after she gets married, then she has to be under her husband. But I think that the other person should also understand the emotions, the feelings of the girl who has left her house for the other one and who is staying and taking care of his family. Therefore, this domination should not be there. Everything should be done with love. So, in this story, we are having one lady who is all the time dominated by her husband, and therefore she kind of feel that she is being tortured. She has to bear a lot of difficulties, bear a lot of things, and she has to be under the domination of her husband all the time. When she was small, actually this is about the poet. When she was small, she has to be the under her father's decisions. She has to look forward to her father's decision, what he is, choosing for her, what's not. And later on, when she got married, she has to do the same thing with her husband. Her husband never understood her. Rather, he used to dominate. Dominate means when you are forcing your own thoughts on others. You want the other person to work accordingly, to work according to you. I think this concept is absolutely wrong. There should be equality. There should be equal things for both the male and females. So let's see if we can work on that. But apart from that, if we talk about the chapter, yes, this chapter about Aunt Jennifer's Tiger, where the poet has written about a lady Jennifer who was very much tortured by her husband, who could not have this courage that she could, you know, run away or go somewhere else. For her, her engagement ring, the wedding ring she was having, was a kind of burden to her. So, what happens next? Let's see it. Adrienne Rich, 1929, was born in Baltimore, Maryland, USA. She is widely known for the involvement in contemporary women's movement as a poet and theorist. She has published 19 volumes of poetry, 3 collections of essays, and other writings. A strong resistance to racism and militarism echoes through her work. The poem Aunt Jennifer's Tigers addresses the constraints of married life a woman experiences. Andrew Rich was brought up in a well off family. Rich felt dominated by her father's strong personality while growing up. It was he who most guided her as a young poet. This wasn't always to her liking, as he expected her to write her poems in his way. Here, the father is showing the domination where he was forcing his child, his daughter, to write, but according to himself. This wasn't always to her liking, as he expected her to write her poems his way. When Rich was growing up, men dominated and women were expected to become dutiful wives in their adult lives. All these elements may have influenced the picture of marriage Rich drew in this poem. At the heart of the poem is an image of a husband who controls and frightens his wife. Rich wrote a lot of poems based on everyday experience. One topic she often featured was the tension women felt due to being dominated by their husbands. In Aunt Jennifer's Tigers, Rich is mocking the weakness of Aunt Jennifer and the clout and the authority of Jennifer's husband in their marriage. See the summary. Aunt Jennifer's Tiger Summary. In the poem, a woman expresses her deep feeling through her art. She is prey of male dominant society. Also, there is no one with whom she can share her physical pain, so she makes a picture to describe her deep feelings. Moreover, the narrator defines the tigers which her aunt made on the panel, like their motion and movements and their magnificence and fearlessness. Further, there are men sitting under the tree, but the tigers don't. Besides, now Jennifer finds it difficult to take pictures by using ivory needles. Also, after marriage, she became weary of doing household work. Now, she can't involve herself in artistic work. Instead, she has to do in her leisure time. She is scared of her husband, but her art expresses her desire to move fearlessly and proudly like tigers. So, when she was doing the household work, she just drew this thing where the tigers, you know, that the tigers are the sign of fearlessness. She wanted the poem she wrote about Aunt Jennifer was that Aunt Jennifer was very much dominated with her by her husband, but what she wanted to do, she wanted to be free, she wanted to be fearless, and therefore she make the picture of the tigers, those who are fearless in their own ways. She also want to be like the tigers, but actually she could not be like any of them, but that is why she was expressing her feelings in the form of her art. In this poem, the poet describes a lady who she addresses as Aunt Jennifer. The poet also says that she is doing embroidery on a piece of cloth that could be a wall hanging or tablecloth. Children, one more thing is there. When the poet, okay, Andrew Rich, she was young, she was dominated by her father, okay, and that's why when she grew up, she tried to express her feelings of this male domination through her poetic, you know, things and poems, where she wrote this one piece which is Aunt Jennifer's Tigers, and in that she is talking about the condition of Aunt Jennifer, who was tortured by her husband and who was not leading a good life. She was always, and she has to always look forward to the decision of her husband, and her husband never treated her nicely. So that is why when she was making the pictures of the tiger, she wanted them to be everywhere, means wherever they can go, they wanted to be she wanted them to be like that, because in her actual life Aunt Jennifer could not be so fearless. Okay, she was scared of her husband. Okay, moreover, she has made it with beautiful tigers that are running fiercely in the green forest. Further, she describes their beauty in comparison to a topaz, as in the green background of the forest. They appear bright yellow. Company of men does not affect them, as they are fearless. At this point, we can sense the contrast of behavior between the ant and the tigers. Although tiger made by her is fierce, she is afraid of her husband. According to the poet, tigers are the proud and fearless citizens of the forest. These creatures are very elegant and shiny. In the last part, the poet says that though Aunt's designs of tigers can easily sense her desire for freedom and fearlessness, however, the poet says that it is not possible for her to achieve this freedom during her lifetime. Only after her death she will attain freedom. But the irony here is that even then she will be tied with. Okay, it's not. She feels this because her husband tortures her so much that she sees the wedding ring as a burden instead of a beautiful gift by her husband. Due to the many difficulties she has faced in her married life, that she describes the little wedding ring as a heavy band on her trembling fingers. It also means that the ring is linked with some bad experiences in the form of torture that she has faced. Further, this experience relates to the dominating behavior of her husband. In the last part, the poet says, okay, this has been repeated. Okay, after this part we have already done. So let me take the last line. But the irony here is that even then she will be tied with, here is that even then she will be tied with chains in the form of her husband's wedding ring. So basically what the poet is trying to say, that Aunt Jennifer was so much frustrated with her marriage that the tigers which she made, she wanted to be like one of that, but she was scared of her husband. She could not do her artistic work. Rather, she was doing the household work, because for each and everything she has to ask her husband. She was dependent on the decision of her husband, and for her, the ring that she was having in her finger was not more than a burden. And when she realized that she can never come out of this pain, only after that she may be, free from such things. But then also she says that even then she will be tied with the chains in the form of her husband's wedding ring. Even then also she could not be able to come out of this relationship. She will die as the wife of that person only. So basically she is trying to say that she will never be able to come out of that feeling, that trauma, and she has to always be there like that. And that is why through those tigers she wanted to feel that freedom for at least some seconds or minutes. So conclusion of Aunt Jennifer's Tigers. By Aunt Jennifer's Tiger summary, the poet wants to represent the life of a woman who has to live under a constant fear from her husband. Also, she will only get freedom when she will die. So I think that this is the worst thing that a girl or a lady has to bear, because why to face the domination of anyone? Why? You are not above, you are not beneath anyone, so why you have to face the domination? And all the men should understand this thing. So that is why I know you all must be listening to me and you will go through this chapter. So I would really request all the boys especially to kindly go through it properly, so that they can understand the drawbacks of the uh, domination is not good at all. When you are searching a partner for yourself, you should search somebody whom you can give the equal rights. You are not buying someone for the rest of your life. You are welcoming a person, you're welcoming your partner who is going to be your partner for the rest of your life. So I think that respect, that love should be there, and moreover, more than that, equality should be there. You both should treat each other equally. I'm not saying all men are wrong, some women also take the advantage of that, but yes, your relationship should be, I think, equal. That would be the best thing. So this is the chapter. Now we'll see the reading. Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance across a screen, bright topaz denizens of a world of green. They do not fear the men beneath the tree. They pace in sleek, chivalric certainty. Aunt Jennifer's fingers fluttering through her wool find even the ivory needle hard to pull. The massive weight of Uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. When Aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie, still ringed with ordeal she was mastered by. The tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing, proud and unafraid. So that's all for today. Thank you, Sairam.